Welcome to the tool review channel. Today we're taking a look at the Klein Tools D2000-9NECR Lineman pliers. Now these are part of the heavy duty series of pliers that Klein has to offer. So not only can these cut through copper and aluminum wire, but you can cut through screws, nails, and most hardened wire with these as well, as the cutting jaws on here are a little bit more hardened than the ones on this just standard pair of lineman pliers. And these also feature, as you can see right here, a high leverage design, so the rivet is close to the cutting edge. So you should, in theory, use a little bit less force when cutting through wires or cutting through screws. And as you can see here, the tool is well oiled. You have the Klein Tools name right there, and you have the Klein Tools logo right there as well. And then you have the date that the company was founded right there. And then you have your D2000-9NECR. That's the number on the tool, or the product number for the tool. And then G7 right there, which I believe is the manufacturing code for when the tool was produced. And then you can see right there, laser etched, made in the USA right there as well. And then I believe this marking down here, I believe it's an F8, I believe, is the type of steel that they use to produce these pliers. And you can see up here you have your safety warnings on the tool. It's not going to protect you from electrical shock, and always wear approved eye protection. And then coming down to here you have your crimping die, and then you have some gripping jaws on the back right there as well. Now, from my understanding, you can use those gripping jaws right there to pull out like a screw or a nail that's stuck, or a staple that is stuck into whatever surface you're working on. And the same thing with this beveled edge, or this cutaway edge at the top here. If you're gripping onto a screw or a nail, you're trying to pull it out, you should be in theory able to get it and without the tool slipping into your hand. And as you can see up here, you have your nice hardened cutting edge right there, which is going to allow you to cut through, like I said, not only copper, but it's going to allow you to cut through screws, nails, and most hardened wire. Now, don't go trying to cut piano wire with these. That's not what this tool is made for, and you're going to end up damaging the cutting head. And as you can see up here, you have a super aggressive cross-hatching pattern on the nose of the pliers right there, which is super nice. So if you're pulling or you're needing to bend or twist wire, that cross-hatching pattern is going to work wonders, and you're not going to lose grip onto the wire. Rather than if the teeth are all facing the one direction, you're going to lose that grip a lot easier than if it was the cross hatching. And then to the back side of the tool, it's nothing real special. You got the square cutout right there, a little bit of rust from the oil sitting on the surface of the plier, and the back side of your crimper right there as well. And then you can see it has the blue dipped handles as well. I think they also make this pair of pliers in the comfort grip option as well. It's just going to have it's going to be part of the Journeyman series, and instead of the D, it's going to be a J2000. But if you want those, you're going to go on Klein's website to see if they offer those. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure they do make them in the Comfort Grip series as well. So now we'll get to some of the functionality. And as you can see, Klein's, they do open up relatively super easy, which is nice. Now these came like that, didn't have to break them in whatsoever. I know some Kleins, they come and they're super stiff and you have to break them in. This pair came super loose, which is super nice. So now we're going to get to some of the functionality of this tool. Obviously, we just showed you how well they open and close. Now we're going to see how well that they can cut. So we're going to start off with some 14 gauge stranded wire. And as you can see right there, we have no problem whatsoever cutting through that 14 gauge stranded wire. Now we're going to bring that back in here in a little bit, and we're going to see how well we can crimp with it. But right now we're going to bring in our 12 gauge stranded wire, and we're going to give this a cut as well. And as you can see, the tool has no problem whatsoever cutting through that 12 gauge stranded wire, which is nice. So now we are going to bring in some 10 gauge stranded wire and see how well we can cut through this. And as you can see, the tool doesn't struggle one bit to cut through this at all. And as you can see, you don't really hear that snapping action that you have with some other lineman pliers. Now, Klein has specifically designed their handles to absorb that snap, so you don't feel it in your hands as much, which is super nice. So now we're going to bring in some thermostat wire. This is 18.5, so there's 5 18 gauge wires on the inside. And as you can see right there, we can cut through that wire no problem. And as you can see right there, you can cut through the little insulation piece of fabric in there as well. So we'll go ahead and put that off to the side as well. And we'll bring in some 14.2 with ground Romex wire, and we'll go ahead and cut through that. And as you can see, you can cut through that 14.2 Romex wire no problem whatsoever, which is super nice. And you don't have to use really much effort to cut through them at all as well. So now we'll bring in some 12.2 with ground and see how well we can cut through that. And you definitely have to use a little bit more force to cut through it, but you can definitely cut through it no problem. And you just have a slight amount of that snapping noise, and you don't really feel it at all in your hands. So we'll go ahead and get all that stuff out of the way. And we'll bring back in our wires, our 14, 12, and 10 stranded wires, and we'll go ahead and test out the crimper on this tool. So we already have the wire pre-stripped already. So we'll go ahead and bring a terminal in here, and we'll see how well we can crimp this terminal onto the wire. And as you can see right there, must have missed it a little bit, but as you can see right there, you can get a nice crimp onto the wire right there. So we'll go ahead and cut that off so that way we can reuse that wire. And we'll go ahead and bring in a 12 gauge stranded wire, and we'll put a terminal on there as well. And we'll go ahead and crimp a terminal onto there. So we'll go ahead and line that up, crush it down, and as you can see right there, did a better job on that terminal, so that's definitely not going to be coming off anytime soon. I just messed up the crimp on that other one, but as you can see right there, it does a fairly decent job at crimping that terminal onto that wire. So now we'll bring in our final wire right here, and we will bring in the tool and we'll give it a crimp and see how well it crimps onto there. And as you can see right there, it's definitely not going to be coming off of that tool or of that wire anytime soon. So go ahead and cut that off. And then one final test we have for these is if we can strip wire with these. Now, Lineman pliers, sometimes you do have to use them as wire strippers. So all you have to do is rotate the wire on them, and then you should, in theory, be able to pull off that outer insulation as long as you cut the wire all the way around, or you cut the insulation around the wire all the way around. And as you can see right there, sorry for the camera shake right there, but as you can see, you are able to use this as a pair of wire strippers. I don't really recommend it, but if you needed to use it to strip some wire off in a pinch, the jaws definitely are sharp enough on there to do so if you needed to do that. But overall, definitely recommend these to anyone. They are made in the USA, which is a plus. As you know, I like tools that are made in the USA. And they're not relatively that expensive either. Now, when you go onto Klein's website, there are only a few retailers that do, for some reason, show that they carry this product. But if you go to some other Klein retailers, you can find this product on there as well. Klein just doesn't list them on their website. So if you are looking to pick these up, I will have a link in the description below that'll take you over to Klein's website, give you some more information. And I do recommend you look up the actual product number or the tool number of the tool, and not just use the link on Klein's website, because it's only going to take you to like 2 or 3 vendors that carry this tool, when the majority of the online retailers that are authorized to carry Klein tools carry this tool. For some reason, Klein just doesn't list it. But overall, definitely recommend these pliers to anybody, and they're definitely a lot cheaper than the other competitors out there, which is nice. Definitely not as expensive as the Knipex ones. And these are, I would say, the same quality as the Knipex ones. Obviously, the Knipex ones are made in Germany. These are made in the USA, so they are definitely a nice, high-standard tool, I will have to say. But that's all I have for this video. So if you are new to the channel, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. And if you did enjoy this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. But that's all I have for this video, so thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video to be uploaded.